Great. Well, the next question is actually for both Jim and David. It's a very general question. How did each of you, and we'll start with Jim, how did each of you come across Hedera in the first place?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, as David described, I had been looking at blockchain technologies for about 5 or 6 years. When we were at CDC in particular, we had built our own Ethereum network and had some nodes and things like this, and then realized really several issues. One, that uh, it was just too expensive, too much time, too much effort, too much gas was needed to make it work. Uh, Fundamentally, we wanted to build real-time systems. And then the real kind of key concept here was this idea of getting to finality of a transaction, right? And I think um, my thought was, well, we need to have something where the transaction, essentially can be perceived to be real time, which means that we have to get to some kind of validation of a transaction on the blockchain, within a few seconds. So this is about 3 years ago, and so we looked at various options. At that time, I think Swirls had just come out, with their SDK, and then it was like right after their public announcement. So we were just excited. It's like, well, this could be an option. So long story short, it really started from day one of Swirl. We got the SDK, we experimented, we liked it. And as time went on, and particularly once Hedera was announced and the public DLT manifestation was, what was kind of a reality, that really kind of excited myself and my team, because that was what we were looking for. Essentially a public DLT that would provide a transparency, the scale, the finality of transactions in very few seconds, but also, frankly, the economic viability to be able to pull this off, right? I was mentioning a little bit earlier that we do this data stamping service. So right now we have, I think, right over 3 million data stamping events on Hashlog, right? So, if we're going to do this in Ethereum, I'll be bankrupt, right? There's just no client would want to pay that. So it would fundamentally break what we're doing. But the economic viability, was really important. The governance model was important. We liked the fact that the team was very seasoned. We loved the 15-year, kind of release of the cryptocurrency. There were a number of like low-level details that we really liked. But ultimately, I think it was really kind of this idea that this was so much more in line with what we're looking for from an application architecture and application design perspective.